this is Jana with Hendrix Heroes. Today I just wanted to show you some of the ports and lines that are in the dolls since you can't see them. I want to just show you some of the mechanics of them and some of our little homemade, so if you need to troubleshoot what you can do. All right, so I'm going to move this down. This is what the ports look like in the dolls. It's a vial with a tubing attached to help with that pressure change when they pull the blood out so that it draws from the syringe. The middle of the vial on the rubber, the gray rubber, is what you're shooting for. This is metal, and then you want to just get your needle right in here. This is what our port needles look like with the little butterfly needle. Your kids might look different, so if you do use your different hospitals' port needles, just make sure that what I think is important is dulling the tip of the needle, and I used a metal nail file for that so it doesn't puncture the skin. And then I've super glued it together as well. So most port access devices would have a safety locking piece to it. And if you de-access, it pulls it apart and it locks it where you can't. It covers the sharp end, which is good. I mean, it's supposed to happen that way, but then you can't reuse it. So I just have found it helpful to super glue all those pieces together, and it's easy for the child to hold it if it's all in one piece. So when you are accessing, or when your child is accessing the port, you just get your needle right in the center here. Unclamp that and draw your blood. So your blood should be pulling from the back. Sometimes this needs a little push on the back side. You can clamp it off. And there's your blood. Sometimes if you are going to access and draw blood and you don't get any blood return, might be some air in the top of the vial. So the doll probably is laying down when they are playing, and there can be a little air in the top here. So if you go to draw and you're just getting air in your syringe, just keep going until you get some blood out. Get the air out of there. Oops, sorry. And then just keep going until you get that blood coming out. You could also sit the doll up and then blood would probably get in there a little bit better, but I like to just pull the air out of the vial, so you need blood from here down through here. You gotta hook up more in the back. So for the younger kids that we don't want to be accessing and de-accessing the port, if the doll comes with a port in the chest and it's stuck in there, it has also been dulled and super glued where it can't come apart, and it's stuck into a little rubber stopper that feels like a port under the skin. So then the blood just transfers in between there and it doesn't come out. Some dolls also have PICC lines and Hickmans, and I've just glued the end of the PICC line to the blood that's coming out there, or also the double lumen Hickman just has a bunch of lure locks here, and it's all hooked up with the blood in the back as well. So if your child likes the whole blood drawing stuff, Henrik just loved it. He would love to take his blood sample and put it in his lab tubes and send it off to the lab. So you just take your lab tube and put it right on there. So the blood should shoot right in there if it's a new tube, and usually it stops somewhere around 3 mils. It says on there how much it takes. Try to avoid having your kids pushing more blood in than it really wants to take, because then you're just going to end up with a bloody mess. Red food coloring all over. So if you want to reuse these lab tubes, you can empty them, so you can either suck the blood back out, which works well, hook it back to your syringe and put it back in the doll. But you can also open the cap. It's just a rubber stopper in there, and then just place it back on. However, then you're going to lose your negative pressure. So if you go to draw the blood again, you pop it on there, it's not shooting in there. It's because air needs to be taken out of the vial. So you just suck a bunch of air out of there, and when you take it off, you should hear a little suction sound. So as long as you suck air out, then it should draw the blood back in. So those can always be reused. Everything is needleless and dull. All right, so I think that's it. I hope that was helpful. I just want to be available if there's any questions. So parents, supervise your child's play. Make sure that they are always using their dulled needles and their blood with you, so that you're not making a mess. And if you have any questions or the dolls need to be looked at, I would happily take them back and check them out. So you can contact us through our Facebook page at Henricks Heroes, and our Gmail is henricks.heroes@gmail.com. Thanks, guys. Happy playing.